Right. So there's also flexibility just within like day to day practice
Mm.
of just trying to have that mindset of being flexible. And historically, I too would also be flexible and kind of fawn, but mine was more out of the desire to avoid conflict. So not
Mhm.
necessarily to please the other person, but because I was so afraid of someone being angry, and I was so afraid of people's anger because I felt like if they were angry, I would somehow get hurt in
Mm.
that process, whether that be through words or through, physically, extending a hand or things like that. So I had that reaction of fawning, and it wasn't a people pleasing kind of behavior. It was really more out of fear. So
Mhm.
it's
Avoiding the conflict because you were scared of people's anger. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
because in my mind, given my trauma history, if people get angry, then that means that they're going to hurt you somehow, either like I
Mhm.
said, through words or hitting you or something.
Right.
And so my system automatically registers with that and thinks that that's what's going to happen. So
Mhm.
one of the things that I've had to learn in my recovery is how to be comfortable with anger.
Mhm.
And that's been a big challenge because that was inhibiting my ability to be flexible and to go with the flow and to then not become resentful of things
Mhm.
when I was flexible, or perceived flexible because really wasn't flexible. It was more out of my um, response and my trauma pattern that
Mhm.
then I was supposedly being flexible, but not really. So I have to think about that all the time now and
Mhm.
be really cognizant like, is this okay? Is this something that I can deal with? If this is something I can feel comfortable with, and it's okay if it's not too, because there are
Yeah.
boundaries to flexibility, and
Wow.
each person has to determine that for themselves, what that
Mhm.
boundary is. And so, for example, like I just went over to my partner's house and, times were a little bit rough and things like that. And so now moving forward have the flexibility, have the ability to be able to determine, like, okay, can I be flexible enough to be over there and go with the flow and do those things? Or is it better for me to stay out of that and to stay at home?